Okay. Hello to everyone who's joining us. Okay, we're gonna wait like a minute or two just to see that we get as many people on board before I start. I think that we have already around 10 or more, so I'll wait just another minute or so and I'll introduce myself. It's quite weird to talk to yourself, I must say. It'll be fun to see how everyone's doing today. Okay. By the way, from now on, you can use the chat box in order to write comments, questions throughout the presentation, and I'll explain more when I'll start. But feel free even now to just say hi to everyone and let us know you're out there. Okay. I'll give this one more minute and then we'll start. And for everyone that is joining us, you can definitely see that I'm working from home because I didn't change the background for living the moment or living the life as it presents itself right now. So working from the kitty's bedroom. I guess more people can relate to that. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So let me start. Not to waste any time, and everyone that join us can catch up with us. So first, I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Ayela. Originally, I'm from Israel. I've been living in Bermuda for the past 2.5 years and working in performance solutions. I've been away for 5 years out of Israel. Lived in also St. Lucia and Cayman. And I always practice organizational development. At first, I thought it was a profession. Now I see it as my passion, one of my passions. So that brought me here to you today. And I will try to share my knowledge with you, and hopefully in some way it will help. So I'm going to take myself off the camera right now. Okay, and we can focus on the presentation. And as you are aware, the presentation, or I'll say what I wanted to share with you, is how, as you all probably have noticed or struggled or been in the situation or in the situation, you need to keep your business still thriving, still working as it is with a skeleton workforce. So how do you do that? How do you do the same things with just like half of the employees you truly need, or even a lot more things to do by yourself? So one of the solutions will be to look at skills as a way to solve the problem. But I think it's a bit more comprehensive or complex, you can say, that from than just skilling. So let's just dive right in, right? Okay. I wanted to, if you can use the chat box to give everyone just a clue to this question. So what keeps you up awake at night? Just even in one word or one sentence. What is your most prominent challenge in sustaining a functional, high-performing team? You can share thoughts or ideas with everyone. To the question, like just what keeps you up awake at night? Let's see. Okay. 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 think I'm not seeing everyone's answers, so we'll just move on. I guess there's a lot of things that keep you up awake at night if you're a business owner. I wanted to address maybe two of the challenges, and you can look at it from two different angles, I may say. So, of course, the two main challenges is balancing money, the economics, with people, the people side. Because, of course, you want to do everything for your employees, and you want to do everything impossible to keep your business going and earn money. It has to work, it has to go hand in hand. So, if I look at it, we can also see it as maybe the being and the doing. So first, there's the heart and the soul of the people. So it's about the well-being, also yours, and about engagement. Maybe answering the questions on how do I feel and how do I cope with emotionally and mentally with the situation. But it's not just about feelings, of course. You have a business to run. So how about those skills and functions you need to take care of? And to answer the question like, so what do I do? And I think it's again, it's the interconnecting, like those two things are interconnected. It's the physical with the people, it's the emotional side with the skill side, the being and the doing. And maybe the biggest challenge of all is to look at things in a different way. Maybe one of the most greatest challenge is to cope with this unprecedented times, but to think of it in a whole new perspective, like a whole new outlook of things. Because if we keep on applying the same kind of mindset or routines that we used to apply until now, I'm not sure it's gonna work for us. So how about converting those challenges to advantages? For instance, even look at our private lives as an example, not just the business life. So we are a lot at home, and staying at home had caused a lot of strains and stress, and kids are home, but it also gave us quality time. And it also worldwide had given a lot of people the ability to look at their life in a different way. So they thought their routines cannot be changed because this is how I do things. I get up in the morning, I send the kids to school, I go to my office, and I need to set up those meetings, and I come back home 8 p.m. and I don't get to see my kids. And people now have had the chance to look at life in a different way and say, oh, this is most important to me. This is more important to me than other things. And hey, I can change the way I live. It doesn't have to be the same as I did it until now. And if we look at the business world, one of the biggest changes is about, you can say, job reinvention. It's how to look at the workforce or the world of work, not just our lives, in a completely different way. It's a critical strategy enabler. So it's not just a quick fix. It's a way of living. It's a way to reinvent what we're doing. So let's go back. Let's go back to your business and try now to picture a business, imagine it as a utopian situation in which no pandemic, business is thriving. You just even landed a huge grant from the government or another business that is really excited when it looks in your business. Anyway, you have all that you need to make the most out of your idea. Not the business you own right now, but your idea. Where would you take it? What would you do? Would you continue on doing the same but in large? Or maybe it's just an opportunity to really go for it and make a lot of changes. Different ways to look at it. Okay. And I want to take you on a journey that looks at your business from a whole new perspective. First, let's look at what to think of. Okay, we'll first look at what to think of, and then we'll see how to do it. Okay, so first let's look at your business in a whole different way. And I didn't just put those 65% number here, the 65% number here with the writing. The fact that children that are born now would not even go or will not even have the same jobs that we are thinking as essential when they enter the workforce. That's the world we live in. And I think, and that's a number that even that pre-existed even before this pandemic, meaning the world is changing so profoundly in every minute that passes that we have to reimagine things. Okay, so now we're looking at the what. Let's look at three things. First, the business goal. So, and I want to be very practical or half practical delivering this webinar. So we'll do half and half. Okay, so even write yourself down. What are your business goals? Because you have to know what you want. Then, after you have your business goal, and I'm not saying the ones you wrote a year ago, after you have your business goal, you need to look at your core skills and functions because you need to know what you need. And then let's look also at strengths, meaning know what you already have. Okay, so we will go through a process of rethinking the purpose and the priorities of the business. In order to do that, here, okay. So let's first look at the goals, more like slightly drill down to all those three goals, skills or core skills and strengths. To reinvent, you wanna to maybe improve business performance. You want to look at cost. You want to reduce risk. You need to ask yourself different questions while you're reimagining your business. And also, when you outline your business goals, look at it in different timelines. So, what do you need to happen or what do you want to happen actually in the coming 3 months, 6 months, 1 year? It has to be very, it has to be written down. It has to be very practical, and it needs to converse with reality. So 3 months is right here, right now. 6 months is a bit more planning forward, and a year, as you can see, I didn't even take it more than that. I think in our business world, you can't take it more than that. It's fine to imagine 3 years ahead, but it's more looking at trends or looking at long-term possibilities. But it changes all the time. So that process of looking at your business goals should be taken by you every 3 or 6 months. You can't just leave it and after a year or 2 years just glance at it again. Okay, so first understand your goal. What do you want? And sorry, going back to this, considering the situation, in order to now sustain the business, do you want to look at cost, risk, performance, narrowing down, sizing up? What is it? Okay, now we need to look at the core skills and functions, okay, that you need right now. And only after look what you maybe need according to your goals in 3 months, 6 months, a year. But why am I talking about core skills and functions? As you can see, I'm not talking about jobs. What we're going to do now is deconstruct jobs into skills and functions. Meaning we are all thinking about work in terms of which jobs do I need in order to sustain my business. Okay, I need someone to serve the ice cream. But can that person do a lot more than just serve the ice cream? And I know I'm giving like a very simple example here, but am I hiring a salesperson? Or do I want that salesperson to do different things. And that's why I don't want you even to ask, what do I need in terms of jobs? Meaning, don't ask, do I need a salesperson or I need a salesperson? Ask which core skills or functions do you need for your business right now. We'll take another look. And also, the last one is about what you have. So maybe you needed to size down your workforce and you were left with just a very narrow number of employees, just a skeleton kind of workforce. Do you really know what your employees' strengths are? You know that they have been doing the same, or not same, you know what they have been doing in your business, but do you really know them? Do you really understand what they can further bring to your business or where their strengths lie? And by saying that, I'm thinking about their lives even outside the work sphere and what their passions are, and connect that also to the workspace. So the process for you to take is actually to deconstruct, and then recompose your business. Meaning, don't think of work, because when you think of work, you think of jobs. You need to examine which tasks compose those jobs that you already have or had or are looking for. And then combine that with your employees' talents, and then identify maybe also how those tasks can be completed in different ways. And as you can see, we'll tap on this, giving a couple of ideas on how to approach it in a bit. But first, deconstruct. Don't think in those same frameworks that you thought of things until now. And only when you have those lists of core skills, strengths, tasks lined up, then you recompose. Then you need to think, okay, so who should do what? Okay, and you can even put it in some sort of like a nice little table like this. And I actually encourage it because I think it's a very practical exercise to understand where you're headed. Okay, to optimize your workforce, you need to focus on what's in the core, meaning maybe there are things that you have kept on doing also that now can or should be eliminated. That's why you need to deconstruct, and that's why you need your goal. So if I need to cut costs now, which tasks can I eliminate? What do I don't have to do right now? Maybe I can go back to it, and also maybe in a different way in 6 months, but what do I don't have to do? You need to stick with what you must have, and maybe add to it a couple of things that are essential to achieve your goal. But have those core skills listed. See if you have people that know how to do it, to what extent, and if not, maybe strengths you can tap on. Okay, and now we're moving a little further to, I would say, solutions. So after you have those skills, now you want to see who has what, right? And there are different ways to allow your workforce to achieve those skills or gain them. You can reskill, you can upskill, or you can cross-skill. And let's, again, look at what does that mean. And by the way, I do want to suggest that if you have any questions, please write it down in the chat box, so I can maybe look at them during the conversation or after, and I can answer them. I don't see anything so far, so I hope I'm not missing on anything. Okay. Let's see. What is it that, what is reskilling? First, reskilling comes now very much from the digital kind of age, and it mainly the term that if you look around, the term mainly refers to allowing the workforce to gain new and different skills in terms of AI. So you want to, when you digitize the workforce, you want them to reskill themselves, to be able to shift from more traditional jobs into more technological ones. But it's not just about technology. It's about treating your people, your staff, as flexible rather than only seeing each employee in a set role. Okay. Again, I think as I said before, it's the mindset that we need to change. It's the way we look at things. It's the way we keep on doing the same, which is not working anymore. Doing the same is not necessarily the right answer. It's about deconstructing everything and recomposing and just it's building blocks. Okay. So as we said about jobs, not to look at jobs, but look at tasks and skills, also look at people as flexible. They can learn new things and they can do different things, even from those positions that you started with, that you hired them to. And if I even quote here, as you can see, Deloitte that researched a lot. It's a system that invests not just in workers' near-term skills, but also in workers' long-term resilience, okay? That can help actually your workers' long-term resilience is your business resilience, meaning if they have the skills, they can keep up and you can keep up as a business with whatever is going on. Okay, so how can you do that? First, again, go back to your core needs and go back to the core. Don't be afraid to set aside things that are not adding value at the moment. Think new, think of only focus on what you need. Okay, so one of the ways to allow the current workforce you have to learn something new is by cross-skilling. Maybe if you have a skeleton workforce, all staff members should perform all tasks. Why someone is doing X while another is doing Y, and what happens if someone is missing? And okay, so you can also have them cross-skill themselves. There's no need to go out. There's no need for courses. You need to make sure that the business is always fully functional, so they can teach each other a new craft, a new skill, and that allows each and every one of them also to take the lead on something. So if you have someone that is good with the cashier and or the cash, and someone that is good with preparing the food, if they train each other, one of them or each one of them can still take the lead on being the head cashier or head of making the food, but they all know how to perform those different tasks if someone is missing. So, and again, I'm giving simple examples. Of course, it can be more complicated, but again, allow them to cross-skill each other. And I will also add a note to that. It doesn't have to be perfect. They may not do it completely 100% accurate the first time, but since you all work together, it's like it's work in progress and it's learning in progress, which is good. It's like you're building more than just skills, you're building a community. Another way to have your workforce do more is by upskilling. So again, who can do more? And also ask me the questions, what do you need in 3 months, not just now? And empower your staff members to go beyond. You can use the time that you have now, which is maybe more of a downtime, and maybe it's the opposite, maybe it's more like a crisis time, but to empower staff members to go beyond what they were hired for. And another exclaimer, you may not be able to pay them for now for that, because you're coming and you tell them, okay, I want you to do more than what I hired you for. But there's a big but. You are giving them skills that in a year time may serve them for the best. It's worth money. If you are training them, it's money wise, it's worth money. So if they will later on need those skills in order to advance in life, in order to get a better paycheck, in order to move on to something different, which is okay. It's okay to allow people to be trained with you and later on in life maybe to choose a different path. This is the business world. But the fact that you are giving them the opportunity to learn more should empower them. And have each staff member take full responsibility over a certain business function, maybe that you didn't. Maybe you can divide business functions and take some out of you, like what you have been doing so far, and give it to your staff to empower them and then upskill them to learn new skills. And reskill is because change is here. So again, maybe some of the things that people have been doing until now is not relevant anymore, because you need to think of your business in a different way, and because you need to make a change. Yes, and if we take even the simplest, again, example, which is technology, maybe you haven't used social media to its fullest extent, and maybe you can give it to one of your team members to handle, but they need to learn how to do it. And you reskill them. You are giving them a different function that did not exist anymore, as I would give it a nice title as head of social media, but still it's a skill they need to learn. So you need to understand who should perform something completely different and which tasks aren't at the core, so eliminate them, and which tasks are irrelevant or don't add value, and add those that will add value in your new business mode, and reteach techniques to allow people to learn new things. And it's not easy, and it costs money, but it doesn't have to. I spoke of just a bit of how you can use inner resources to have your staff members learn new skills or shift or do more by peer training. Again, they can teach each other. You can go to online sources, either free or paid. Sometimes it's worth the $20. And this is also the advantages maybe of the pandemic. There's a lot of free sources now, and there's a lot of low paid sources that you can tap on. I want to touch the business share partnership in a bit, my next slide. You can train them with videos, meaning make fun out of this, like make the situation fun, sorry. And they can shoot videos of themselves doing something, and by that, teaching through that video, teaching others and how to do it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be edited in an editing room. It could be just a plain video using the smartphone camera, but it's a fun way to engage in learning and to teach others. You can do it with short videos. You can share that with WhatsApp. You can do it in different ways. You yourself can research and teach your staff. It could be bit by bit. It doesn't have to be a long, deep, or thorough learning that you need to prepare for a lot. Again, don't go for the 100%. Go for the 80% and allow yourself to be part of the process of teaching. And you can also reach out to volunteers. Maybe there's a person on island that you are familiar with. Maybe it's a friend of one of your employees. Maybe it's an old school friend that holds a certain skill that can be taught to your staff members or even to you. And all you need is an hour of their time to as volunteers to just come and teach your staff. You can do it again. You can shoot a video of it, so you have a memory and you can reuse it. There's a lot of ways in which you can reskill, upskill, cross-skill your team members. I just want to get a look. No one's writing questions. No questions. Okay. I would love to answer if you have any. Okay, and as I said, I'm just going back to this slide. I said that I will tap on business share and partnership on and how you can reskill your employees. So another way to manage the situation in terms of how to handle it is to look if you can tap on the broader ecosystem of talent to build that resilience. For instance, how about creating partnerships between different businesses, small entrepreneurs, small business owners, partnership even with a bigger business to do employee sharing or talent exchange between businesses, and that way people are learning. And I'll just stop to give you an example about employee sharing. I know, well, I bet you heard of it. It happened at the beginning of the pandemic. I think it was in the news, April, May, how big big companies, enterprises such as Amazon or others had taken employees from other businesses that went into shutdown mode for an unknown period of time. And they didn't have those employees as Amazon one, but they, like other companies, have shared their employees. That way, Amazon still paid the paycheck through the other companies, but they gave them a job and they could still earn money. And by doing that, they also gained sometimes new skills. So if we look at maybe small businesses on island, maybe you can use or partner and share employees, different hours, different days. So if we go to notions such as flexible working hours, maybe an employee can be employed by a company half of the time and then half of the week by another, by that gaining a full salary, but then you do the sharing. The talent exchange between businesses is if you can exchange or share your employee with another business for a limited period of time, just in order to teach that employee a new skill, and then give him back or exchange again. It's a way, again, to teach people new things without the need to sending them to courses or again, to, I would say, save money on that, but those partnerships can support you. And of course, those two ideas on how you can reskill your employees, they're much more effective than sending a person to a course. A course is a classroom. People usually forget most of what they heard in the classroom, but if they actually practice something and they exercise it, it stays. That is human learning. That is adult learning. So it's even better to do it that way than to engage in a course. Another way to look at it, consider which task can be performed by non-traditional talent. Can you get gig workers to do just gig work for you? Independent contractors, great alliances, as we said, maybe volunteers, and maybe even customers that can help out in different ways. Again, it's thinking outside of the box. One last maybe is also to consider which tasks can be automated. I know I read an article about how IBM had shifted, and I know it's a big enterprise and they have the money, but it's the thinking behind the process. They have taken out of their service staff tasks that are now removed and are more like chatbots and maybe live chat, or they even created a more elaborated Q&A, and they had managed to keep their staff members to now answer more in-depth questions and therefore giving a much better customer experience, because they can actually discuss lengthier, they have lengthier conversations with the customers and engage them in more challenging questions, and leave aside those small bits and bytes that sometimes hold your customers service people, and they keep their hold their time instead of just allowing them to be available to a more to give them more or a better customer experience. Again, there are different ways. It's all a matter of what your business is facing and which of the solutions fits you most. It doesn't have to be the same, or it shouldn't be the same for all business. And again, you can go back to your table and you have your core skills, and you understand now which of your employees maybe hold the strength that you can tap on, and then you can understand what you need to apply, reskill, cross-skill, or use an alternative source, and just line it up for you. Create that map, your business map that you can work with. I wanted to share this with you. I think it's a nice way to conclude this part of the presentation. I am going, I have I think 5 more slides, but I think it's part of the life we live in right now. So I guess it's worth watching, just to make a laugh at ourselves, maybe. Okay. Sorry.
We're going to use this time to get reacquainted with the outside world. So first, tell me, what are these? These are pants. I'm sorry, I just realized those don't have an elastic waistband. They have a zipper and a button. What are you trying to torture us? No. Okay, moving on to this. That seems terrible. It is terrible. That's why I'm advising something called a retraining bra. You'll get used to it. Have we covered this yet? This is a razor. Pre-pandemic women would use it to shave their legs. Why can't you just let it grow? You totally can, but if you're looking for intimate time, you could intimate what? No. Okay, looks like you're going to need a refresher on that. Let's move on to conversations with people. Okay, what do you say if somebody says, "Hi, how are you?" Toilet paper. Let's try this one. What do you have planned for the weekend? Sit, wine, and sit. What do you think about the big election? Wait, there's an election? Huh. You're also going to need to adjust to not taking a nap every day. That we're keeping that. Keeping that one. You need to go to bed on time. And stop watching Netflix. How? Push through. Fine. Okay, moving on to going to work. I've been going to work. No, like putting on clothes and makeup and going to an office. What? Once you get to the office, let's practice a workplace meeting. I've been doing this all month. I got it. Okay. Hi, Kim. How are you? I'm good. Our projections are in 53. In order to hit that target, we have to circle down. We're going to have to circle back. We're going to have to... Kim, are you on your phone? Don't worry about it. It's out of the shot. You can't see it. You are not on a Zoom call anymore. You're in person. We can see you. Continue. We really need to meet that goal in order to meet expectations and deliverables and cash flow. Kim, are you doing a TikTok dance? You can't tell because I'm in screen share. We just see charts. This is not a Zoom call. We can see you, whatever. In order to meet those expectations, we have to buckle down, but we have to gear up, and then we'll circle back with our synergy. And oh my God, and stop eating pretzels. You can't hear it. It's not mute. There's no mute. Okay, you're gonna be fine. It's okay. Everybody's gonna be going through the same thing. So just drive to work and just figure it out. Okay. Oh crap! I think I forgot how to drive. Synergy.
Okay. Hope you enjoyed it. That was another look at. Okay, there we go. Another look at reskilling. Post-pandemic, but another look at it. I saw there was a question there, and I'll try to complete maybe the presentation in like just a couple of minutes, and then I'll leave I think the last like 15 minutes to questions, and I would love to answer. So please type on. Okay. The other factor that I mentioned at the beginning of our meeting presentation session is the heart and soul. So until now, we tapped mostly about the skills, about I call it the doing. So what do I do? How do I manage with a skeleton workforce? Literally what to do. But we're living in a world where people have emotional and mental need to adjust to the situation, I would call it, for everyone, not just our employees, also us. So there's definitely a being part in that we need to relate to. And as others have always said, to win the marketplace, you must first win the workplace, meaning you need to attend to your staff members if you really want your business to thrive. So we need to understand how and what drives our employee and how we can support them in those times that we have those bumps in the road. It's not just all smooth. Some of the COVID disengagement factors, people are very much concerned with their personal health. They have concerns about family and close friends' health. They fear of layoff because they've seen it with others, even if they should be I would say, and I'm really careful with that, the thankful ones because they still have a job. So it doesn't work that way. They always feel like, am I going to be next? They have that question running in their head. So it's like a sword over my head. And of course, there's a lot of uncertainty about everything. The economic situation is very unclear on top of everything else. And employees that traveled are quarantined. It takes a toll from the other team members, and it goes on, and you know it through the business owners. So people wake up in the morning with a lot going on in their heads. So we have to acknowledge that. We just can't come to the office or the business and say, okay, let's reskill you. We have to understand that there's a deeper layer, emotional layer that we need to address. And how we do that, I would stop and ask you even, what matters most to you? I think if you can ask that and answer that to yourselves, you are probably you'll probably be more aware of what matters to your employees. And I would even encourage you to go and ask them what matters to them most right now, because that means you'll understand them better and know how to work with them. What matters to them most is keeping their health, is keeping their job, is taking care of family. There's a lot of answers that can go with that. And knowing that will allow you to better address your employees. But let's tie the skills with the engagement. Why am I doing those two in one presentation? And sorry, Your engagement challenge, I'm sure you're aware of it, is I want my staff to do more with less, or I want them to be present and committed. Of course you want to. You want them to wake up in the morning without the worries. You want them to be fully engaged in the work. It's complicated. So reskilling and engagement go hand in hand. Why? Because if you are devoting the time and effort to reskill your employees as part of the needs of your business, you actually are demonstrating that you care for your workforce because you see them as more than a financial investment. You are actually developing them. And people that feel competent also are much more engaged and committed, and they feel empowered when they learn a new skill. So it goes hand in hand, it ties together that being part with that doing part. And especially in times like this when there's, you can't really think there's no burnout at work. Everyone is burnt out. Even if we went back to the office, even if everything seems as normal, it's not, as long as we have that kind of, I think, COVID hanging above our heads. Family and members are abroad, everything that has been going on financially. So workforce burnout is, you should like understand that it's reduced to almost a zero if people are feeling that are engaged, that they feeling that they are in a good workplace, and by investing in them, that's the feeling you're giving them. Three last slides about a couple of tips on what to look for when you think about how do I engage my employees? How do I tap to that emotional part of the work? So first, communication. Talk to them. Be transparent, be candid, speak about the situation, let them know what's the plan. Even if the plan is, I don't know, you should say, look, we are doing our best, but I have no guarantees, which is okay, just be honest. Keep communicating with them at all times and be sincere. When we talk about empowerment and meaning, allow them to take part. So if you are now going back to one of the earliest slides in my presentation, you say, okay, let's draw that table. Let's see which skills do I need, what are my core skills, or let's look at my goals or my challenges as my business. Allow your employees or your teams to be part of the thinking process. They may bring new ideas to the table that you didn't even think about. Have them, make them be partners in the thinking forward, in solving the problems. Brainstorm with them, allow them to be, create a team. That gives them empowerment and that gives them meaning, much more than just performing the tasks. It gives them the opportunity to be a lot more engaged. People are contributing more, just even a bit. Don't let small or big contributions go unnoticed. Reward does not need to be monetary. It could be just bringing a cupcake and just saying a big thank you in front of everyone, or sending a bouquet of flowers to someone's house at the end of the week for doing an amazing job and pushing through. There's a lot of things that you can do just to recognize effort, but don't forget to recognize effort. Take the time to understand that people are struggling as much as you are. And again, reskilling is not just about skills. It's an investment that will pay off both in terms of engagement and both in terms of business sustainability as you move forward. And a couple more things to consider. Health and wellness is not just giving $500 to assign to a gym. Health and wellness is starting the day with half an hour of meditation together as a team, is doing an afternoon walk together, is just even understanding that there's a need to look at those aspects as part of the holistic way of life that you want to provide for your employees. Flexibility is very, very important always, and much more now. Understand how your employees best perform and see how your business can allow that. If someone needs to take Tuesday off, but he can come on Saturday, if he needs to come at 10 and go at 5, if, I don't know, to work one day at home and then the rest in the business, understand with each one how flexible you can be with them. The minute you allow that, people will appreciate that. And maybe it's also time, even if it looks like the worst time in the world, and it connects to giving meaning that is more than just coming to work, and how to make the world a better place, and finding ways with your employees to benefit humanity by cleaning the beach, just doing a morning walk, connect to wellness on the beach to collect plastics. I don't know if that's what your employees want to do, but ask them. It's part of the communication, and it's part of asking them what matters to them most. But finding ways that are more than the business, by cooking together once a week or once a month, even a meal to give to needy families, by collecting food or clothes or toys together, by finding a way that you're doing it within your business, but not just as the broader community, gives employees meaning. Bottom line, it's not just the bottom line. To get results, we need to look at how we can manage our people better. So step out of that old mindset. Don't think about jobs and jobs. Think about what you really need is core skills and tasks. Reimagine your business. What can it be, and what it doesn't need to be anymore. Tap into your employees' personal strengths and engage them in meaningful work. And development and ownership are at the core of people's commitment, always. That is the end of my presentation for today. I have one question here. So someone asked, in reference to the traditional markets, like operating locally in Bermuda, if I would recommend to seek entry in international markets to broaden the base. It's a very broad question without knowing which business or which type of business we're talking about. But why not? I would definitely say why not. I think COVID had allowed us to, wait, and I'll put my camera back on. I think COVID has allowed us to even broaden, or not even broaden, our global borders much more than we even thought is possible, because we moved to remote in so many different ways. All the big enterprises have said that they had planned on moving to those platforms, and they've lined up a year to a year and a half process, and they had done it in 2 weeks just because they needed to. So now looking at an international market, mainly and maybe first through online platforms, or maybe creating partnership with other small businesses abroad. There's a lot of ways to do it, but there's no right or wrong, and there's no one answer. All depends on the business, the platform, and what you can provide. I would love, let's see. Okay, let's see. Another question is the current economic situation exposing Bermuda's total on balance of trade? Should we be actively innovating the creation of new products and services, or reinvent ourselves? Yes, I definitely think this is part of what we need to do. So there's definitely, and I go back to the things that I've said and earlier. I think there's a need to look at things in a whole new perspective, also in what we provide for people. I think that thinking traditionally does not allow us to engage with what's actually happening right here, right now. And there's definitely a need to, as I said, to deconstruct and recompose. May I suggest? I would suggest for some small businesses here, just sit down together. Some of you that have maybe completing that can complete each other on how to brainstorm together, and also see how you can maybe partner again by adding services one to another, even sharing marketing platforms. There's a lot of things you can do in sharing. And I see my video froze. Okay. I think it's almost time. I'm not seeing any more questions here. Let me see if I missed on one or two. Okay. How do you, nice question. How do you, very nice. How do you get to know your employees outside life with or, yeah, being too nosy? I have a couple of ideas. I also use them while I'm facilitating groups. It's just having, I would say, even fun morning gatherings. So each can bring something that is most precious to them from home and just share a story about it. Or I can send later on a couple of ideas and how you can use certain activities that you can do with your staff to provoke kind of sharing that is beyond. But also, I would go for the straightforward question and just sit with each and every one, speak of the challenges, and see what they're passionate about. I think one of the questions to address, how to learn what they can do more or to know your employees better, is ask about their passions. Do they like to what they do in the free time? Maybe they like to I don't know, learn a different language. Maybe they like to graphic design. Maybe they do different things and ask them if they want to engage in a different type of task within the business. I think straightforward questions are not poking. Straightforward questions are a way to reveal how we can create win-wins. So it's not about what do you like to do in your private times in terms of poking. It's what you like to do that maybe you can bring it into the work sphere and we can all benefit from that. I hope I answered it. And I can send some really nice activities on how you can leave things with your staff. Looking. Okay, someone said creative collaboration is the key to survival. Oh, yes. I think we can do a lot more than that. We can definitely sit together as groups and think together in how we can share and how we can partner and how we can provide for each other in times like this. And most times, partnerships will make each and every business thrive more. It's not about revealing your secrets. It's about sharing in order to rise up and be better. If you decide to reskill an employee, how do you approach making that change with them? Do you need to change their contract? I would not even jump to changing contract. I would start with understanding first what they are passionate about, and see if what you need from them can be aligned with what you need to your business. Maybe that will solve the whole problem. And later on, if it's a major shift, you can look at the contract. But again, I think, first use the mindset of deconstructing the jobs and looking at skills. And again, if you share the process with your employees throughout the way, probably they will be more open to the changes, and they will work with you, because again, it's supposed to be a win-win. You're providing them with a workplace, and you're coming open to them, saying, let's find ways to keep the business open, because if the business open and it works well, you have a job. And again, look at it from the advantage perspective, how you learning new skills can help you right here, right now, but also later on in life. I think our time is up. I will try and see if there are other questions that I haven't answered, and just even answer them later on, so we can send an email with more information. And of course, I can share my presentation if it helps with everyone. And I feel quite awkward that I can't see everyone, but I do want to say thank you for your time, and thank you for joining me today. And I hope I helped just a bit with bringing some new ideas to the table. And I'm here if you need any more guidance to discuss things, to think about things out loud. And I wish you all the best. I think it's, yeah, those are very challenging times for all of us, both personally, business-wise, community-wise. So just be safe and take care of your families and yourselves. And I hope we can see each other soon.